Hello, everyone. So, it is nice to be back. And yeah, can I just check? Can you hear me? Just last time there was some weird issue with audio. But it's nice to be back. Excellent. Thank you, Damax. And also nice to see you, Jason, and Next. I don't know exactly what that means. And Damien and Ponky and Barcode Taurus. Thank you. And yes, Mate, it has been a while. So basically, at some point I built an integration for, hey, nice to see you, Yannickness. And afternoon, now an eel. Yeah, well, what? I have questions. That's all I'm going to say. So let's see. So I want to get going with, I'm going to actually go this from scratch. Right, I'm going to get going with an integration for Nuxt. Now, up to now, I had a little bot, a webhook running on Lagon. And this was handling every issue that came in. Here it is. It's a little webhook, and it came in and it basically labeled them. So it would label them with this issue needs a reproduction. Tony, nice to see you. And Viva la vida, nice to see you too. And basically it worked really well, but Lagon, without me really realizing it, went down. So it's now gone. And I hadn't thought about it, but actually that meant that my little bot stopped working at some point. So I now need to recode it, and I thought it might be a good excuse to try building it on Cloudflare and using an open source model like Llama. Previously I was using OpenAI, but I thought, we'll try Llama 3. So here we go. See whether we will be able to do that. So basically, we can directly run queries to models, LLMs, on Cloudflare, which seems like a pretty cool idea. So I thought I'd see if we can get that working in Nuxt. It might not work like in local development, but there is this experimental module that I think might be worth giving a try. So we have this proof of concept module, which we don't necessarily recommend, but we can make it work, hopefully. So let's give it a go. So I want to start a new Nuxt project just because, and I'm going to use NuxtHub, which I think might be a cool thing to try. If you haven't checked it out, NuxtHub is an open source project by Sebastian from the Nuxt team. It's also a product of Nuxt Labs, and they have a hosted service, which seems pretty cool to me. Like, it seems like it has a really nice value proposition. It's not something I'm involved with personally, but it does look great. Okay, so let's open up Carpenter. Carpenter 2 is my previous version of this that was deployed on Lagon, so I might look at it in a second. I really love PNPM. It basically saves a lot of disk space because it doesn't duplicate dependencies on multiple versions of your, on different directories. And because I have so many different reproductions and repositories, it saves me a lot of space. And it also has excellent offline support. So I can install things while on a plane, which is really cool. Well, the font size that I'm using right now for streaming is a little bit larger than I normally use. I normally use this as a font size, which is a bit small, I think, for streaming. So I made it a bit bigger. Yeah, Yarn, I wouldn't use Yarn right now. So if you use Yarn, I would use the latest and not Yarn 2. But right now, I mean, Yarn was wonderful and I was a big fan of it. But right now I would use PNPM. Or NPM is also really good. That would be what I would pick. Oh yeah, if you're on the latest version, that would be good. Okay, so this is a starter template. Let's run, oops, a dev server. Problem with older, interesting. Okay, so we're up and running. There's some errors. Interesting. Yeah, there is no the domain form. This is probably just NuxtHub itself. The starter probably needs to be updated or something. It also looks like we probably have some outdated versions. Let's update everything. Oh, we're not going to see the differences because, let's try it again. Yeah. Let's bump those ESLint steps. And good to go. And basically, I think a lot of this is just to show how stuff might work. So I'm going to get rid of it. And what I'm interested in here, this shouldn't need to be. I am going to, yeah, well, I'll have app.view just to say something like, okay, here we go. Welcome. So that should load here. Oh, I need to start the dev server again. Really what I'm building is like a Nitro server. I'm just building it with Nuxt so I can use NuxtHub, and also so I can use some of the other stuff we've got for Nuxt. And it may be that we add a website for it later on. Okay, so let's add this, add these deps, and update our module config here. We will add, what is it, Nitro Cloudflare Dev, and please, there we go. And what do we need to do? That's it. Cool. Auto labeling. I've tried Mage, but honestly, Dosu looks really good. By the way, if you're interested, have a look at dosu.dev. So I think I requested early access. I'm not sure if I got it. Yeah, I'm on the wait list, so I can't actually use it yet. So yes, I can build it myself, right? Dev server again. Oh, and hey, Alex, nice to see you. For goodness sake, what is... Okay, this is obviously an issue with the module, which is registered 2 plugins. But is that blocking me? No, it seems to be fine now. Okay. What I want to do is try it out. So we have a .wranglers dev, we have a Cloudflare dev option. So what else? What are our options? Why does it not? Is that really the... I see. This is using a Nitro module in order to do this. Interesting. Well, I think so. One thing that we probably need to do here is deduplicate. This is probably a quick Nitro fix. We should deduplicate plugins. So that should be something like, where would we do that? Where would we do that? You're using it here. And I think we probably want to deduplicate it. Yeah, surely. So other way around. Okay. Yeah, fire it away. Yeah, go for it. Is that right? So what we're doing in Nuxt is we have all of our config here, and we are, what are we doing with it? We are creating create Nitro, right? So we're calling create Nitro. Create Nitro. And this basically does, it loads the options from that config, which is where we're making this quick little change here. So, okay, so that all seems fine. We also have the fact that these are being loaded in, at what point? Being loaded in virtual plugins. So we could probably also deduplicate it at that point. That might be better. Okay, so this one, we can just deduplicate them here. Oh yes, goodness, that is definitely very, very ban-worthy. Boom. And also, Dabox, thank you very much for subscribing. Okay, and let's see. Import assets, compile them, and inject them into a server root. Seems you can do that with Nitro Virtual. So you have Nitro options virtual. So don't try and do anything with so this isn't NuxtHub that isn't working. This is a different module that isn't working. An experimental one called Nitro Cloudflare Dev here. And I'm just fixing an issue in Nitro, which is that we don't deduplicate the Nitro plugins. So let's see. Here we go. So fix deduplicate Nitro plugins before rendering. It's just much faster to fix as you go. So noticed when trying out that multiple copies of the same plugin were injected. This caused the following error. It seems like we should deduplicate just to prevent accidental there we go. Viva la vida, did you get the answer? So basically, if you were doing this, you can manipulate something like this. We have, say, a function, and you can do something like Nuxt. We're going to get in options and Nuxt, and we're going to say Nuxt hook Nitro config, and then we can actually just say config.virtual my import, and it's going to be this. And so you can come up with some kind of code there. So you write your logic to compile all of your stuff and return some code, and then you can import from my import in your server endpoint, and that will work. Yes, I totally would, Drekwazi, and so that would definitely be something I would love to do. So maybe another day. And I mean, to be honest, it might be today as well, depending on how well I get on with this, because this. Basically, what I want to do at this point is I want to make sure I can access this in... Actually, I need to fix the bug here, right? Nuxt hook Nitro config, and I have to deduplicate the plugins. So say config plugins equals a new set plugins. What am I doing? Sorry. And there we go. Let's see if that helps. So add template isn't going to work for server routes. Add templates only works in the view part of your app. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, that makes sense. I understand. Okay, so that would make sense. Okay, so it seems we're running. Now, what I want to see first of all, and I have no idea whether it's going to work, is whether I can actually access this in development. So let's see if I can create an API endpoint that does this. Okay, I'm going to just call it test, and we are going to want to do this. So I should be able to access event.context. Where is it? No, it's some kind of, let's see. Event context.cf. Okay. right. Let's see if that is actually working. So we're hitting, what is it, localhost 3000, API test. And yeah, we're getting some stuff back. Okay, that's great. So what we want to do is see if we can access this env.ai. And I probably need to attach the attach somehow the workers AI. Let's see, how do we do it? To binding. Come on, I want to find workers AI. Okay, configuration. We have to create a binding in Wrangler toml. So okay. So is that going to work for me? Nope. We're not accessing it. Oh, is this saved? Let's try it again. And I probably need to restart, honestly, the server, because the Cloudflare bit is probably not going to read it. Try that again. Yeah. Go away, Apple Music. Yeah, that's not going to work. I can do something like that works in dev mode, I guess. Okay, we have a REST API. That might work for dev. Let's try that for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hit this endpoint. So I am going to okay, and we have to put in some things. So we need basically a bearer auth token. We need a, do we need all of these? It's interesting. Hey, thank you, philanthropist. Appropriately named. Okay, we have an account ID. We need a model name. And basically we'll just substitute those. And we will say, so basically what we could do is something like this, base URL. And hey, Esteban. And our model name is going to be what? We want to hit it with a llama 3. This. Okay, try that. And we want an account ID. Which I'm guessing is probably this. Aussie boy, nice to have you here. Manage account. Where's my ID? I think I might just access a token or create a token. And there it is. So forgive me for a second as I just create a token. Okay, so basically I now have a .env file and I'm going to define it in my runtime config like this. Cloudflare API token. And I'm also going to define my account ID directly, which I don't actually think this is a secret thing. I think this is my account ID. Yeah, Jason. So the purpose is basically something that's going to provide an AI integration on the Nuxt repo. But the purpose is also just to figure out how Cloudflare sort of working with their new workers AI. So we're going to do basically const config equals use runtime config event, which is necessary for Cloudflare because it's going to be a event bound thing. And our account ID is config cloudflare.account ID. And actually we could probably just directly pop them in here and here. Okay. So cool. So what we want to send, I just first need to check that this is actually going to work, right? So we need to actually just have a quick look at the docs. Hey, thank you. Okay, so we basically need to be able to, okay, what's the example? Okay, we have a prompt and then a stream question. So we could say, body prompt is, okay, that's fine. And we're going to return the res directly. And we'll see. And actually, I think we probably could stream it. So, oh, no, this is a different, this is the workers binding. What is the REST API here? REST API is, we have a body of text. Is that right? Text. So like that, I guess. So let's hit this endpoint and see what comes out. So I'm going to hit that. Oh, we need to post. Let's try it again. Missing XAuth key, XAuth email, or authorization headers. I think this is probably an XAuth key. Either that or I need to restart my dev server, but XAuth key, I think this is probably correct. And I think it just is directly a token. Let's try that again. Let's try one more time. Interesting. So it is, we do have our account ID coming in, and config Cloudflare API token. Ah, I named it the wrong thing in my .env file. I named it API key. So just quickly renaming it, and let's see if that restarted. Ah! I think I might have to reset that after the call. Okay, so let's see. Okay, bad request. It's probably to do with the, yeah, same. Okay. API token. API token. Let's just log whether it exists. It does. So it must be maybe authorization bearer. Let's try that again. Okay. That's feeling better. So it's saying there's no root. That's interesting. Thank you, by the way, very much for mentioning that, learner. So basically, if you are, so please, I really don't at any point think anyone else needs to give to anything that I find valuable. But I am doing press ups at the moment throughout April and by the way, Larry, that's incredibly generous. So if you are interested and you want to support me in that, please. Okay, so Fishy, hello. Okay, so why is this not working here? Bad request, no root for that URI. Code 7000. I wonder if the model name is wrong. I wonder if, let's try something that's not a beta model. Okay, let's just try like this one. Also not right. You got tricked into slavery. How did that happen? That feels like that's a bad thing. Like that doesn't feel good. Oh, the model idea is a little bit more complicated maybe. Okay, let's try this again. Now with this model ID. Yes, haha. Okay, so we have some answers here. Now I'm going to open back up Llama 3 and we're going to grab the actual model ID this time from here and pop it in there. And we'll just actually say, we'll pull it out to make it clearer. Cool. Okay, so we have this. Yeah, if there was an example in the docs, that's ideal. What does it have? Okay, we have, this has, so yeah, curl is what we want. Okay, so basically this says we have messages. Okay, so that's pretty much what we were expecting for like OpenAI. So we have messages and we're going to have a system, content, role, user, content. Okay, that's a sort of OpenAI-ish thing. We're gonna hit a response and I'm very optimistic at this point. Well, that's slow. Session is going good. It is. Well, I mean, maybe we should ask everybody else who's here. Is the session going okay, people? Is it good? Messages, yeah, this all seems fine. So why so slow? Okay, it has responded. That took a long time. I wonder if we can stream the response. So instead we do something like, oops. We get that and we do something like res dot return to get a stream? I do something like new response, I guess. Res, just like that. What does response want me to provide? Let me just quickly remind myself. Stream. Okay, and we basically want to do, we have send stream, that's it. Well, we can keep this as just the raw data at the moment. So we basically have, we're going to get a result response. Like that. And if we hit that again, oops. That's interesting. Oh, I need to await it. Thank you. We basically have interface, and it's going to be, what is it? Errors, messages, result response, and success. There we go. Okay, so basically what we want to do now is swap in and out with the Cloudflare binding, because ideally if we can use the binding, that would be a lot nicer. So our binding here, it would be accessible on env AI run. So I think we should be able to access that on event.context.cf. And we'd want to find it there. So if event context.cf.env .ai .run, I guess. Sort of, let's see. I think let's abstract a little bit about this. So this is our sort of Cloudflare sort of response. Okay, so we'll do something like this. Async function sort of make REST query, and basically we are going to grab the event. We're going to grab the config, and then we now have our fetch. Let's see. Use. We're going to say use. Use AI query, and so we're going to create a new pre-configured version of this. So give me a sec. We have our base URL, and it is configured for us. So we have now a fetch version. So we do basically something like const query is use AI query, and then what we would do is simply query the model ID and That's weird. Use AI query should just return a fetch, a pre-configured fetch. Oh, it shouldn't be an async function. Okay, so we now are going to query it, and we don't need to paste in any of this stuff, just the body. So that should work. Let's just confirm that it does. Nitro request. Oh, we have to. Ah, but this doesn't work on Cloudflare. Okay, so we're going to just pass the event in here. Okay. Okay. What's this? Oh, right. So that's either going to be the use AI query, or it's going to be this sort of direct function call that we've got, which is env AI run, the model, and then the messages. So we can actually define them like this, I guess. So okay, and the well, I think we can go ahead and build this a little bit more with this as a context. So, but basically it would be we would run the model ID and then just the messages like that. So pretty similar. And we could make an abstraction around it. So but for now, this is probably sufficient to do what we want. Thank you, MarkCube. Okay. Module.ts, and we need to set the bindings. Okay, so if we go here and we say we want, doesn't seem to have AI as a binding, but we can maybe patch it. pnpm patch NuxtHub core, is that it? Okay, so we're just going to open this and have a quick look at the module. And if this is the right thing to do, we'll obviously upstream a fix. So what we would do is this. It seems we can create like a new config option, and we would do, what is it meant to be? Binding equals AI. Wait a second, binding. Why do we have bindings here? Am I right to say it's basically AI and then binding equals AI? Is it as simple as that? Or is it just, Okay, let's see what happens if I start the dev server with that. It's going to give me an error, but I just want to see if it generates the correct Wrangler config. Okay, so you say it's data hub Nuxt. Maybe I haven't committed it yet. So basically we've said generated Wrangler terminal, hub AI, and then we basically are doing that. I guess the question is this correct syntax? So I might, but I mean, is this array syntax correct is what I want to know. So if I pop this here like this, will that work? But yes, is the version from the docs the same as that? Is like I don't know TOML well enough to know. Like is this equivalent to the other one? Is the question I'm asking. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so let's just very quickly. You're right. It would work here. Let's just. Oh, I patched. Where's my patch package? Come on. There we go. Hey, Anurag. Okay. Yeah, okay. It should be an object, but got binding equals AI. That's great, because that answers our question. Okay, so we're going to basically just say AI binding equals AI, right? That's the thing. That seems fine. Let's try it again. Hey, Joaquin. Nice to see you. And let's see, does this work? Fingers crossed. I want to know, is this defined? Nope. Oh, weird. Okay, so what's gone wrong here? Fabian, nice to see you. No root for that URI. Oh. For whatever reason, this isn't working as the base URL. Why is that? That's weird. Oh no, it does seem to be making the full request. Client v4 accounts, account ID. Let me just pull up the REST API again. It should be API client v4 accounts, account ID. Oh, and then it needs to be AI run model name. So it should be AI run, like that. So then that should work again. Right, okay, and we can drop that, like, it seems this isn't exposed. Maybe env isn't exposed. Like maybe that's not, maybe the bindings aren't exposed in exactly that way. Let me just check the, Okay, the request context is what is exposed here. So bindings. So the bindings are exposed. Yeah, env is separate. So the question is whether bindings are exposed through Cloudflare. Yes, here. So bindings are available. Okay. Event context.env. Is that what actually ended up getting merged? I think not. So context CF. Wait, we have documentation. Okay, bindings. Access bindings. So it is, okay, it is, wait a second. Context, Cloudflare. Let's just check what's coming back. Okay, cloudflare.env actually does exist. Okay, so basically what we want, we can access this then on that. Let's try that. Afternoon. It works. Okay, so the binding is now coming through. Now, mind you, we need an account ID. That's fine. Presumably NuxtHub gives me a way of doing that. So account ID. What do I want? Project. That's a bit strange. Why can't I? Hub. How do I access my account ID? The Poetry Company, indeed. That may be something for another stream. Okay, let's patch our NuxtHub again and have a look. What's going on in here? I am well, thank you. It is a beautiful sunny day here. I am loving it. And we want our account ID. Account. Interesting. So it wants to read the account ID from my Wrangler Tommel. Okay, it's fine. It's this one. So indeed, that's true. So let's see, how would I set that here? Account ID. Sean, lovely to hear from you. Okay, so I'll just do something like Oh, really? Let me know, Sean. We have a meetup at Edinburgh. Oh, right, it needs to be escaped. We're having a meetup here, actually, in Edinburgh, if you want to come. So Edinburgh JS at 6:30. Are you around? And account ID. Maybe I need to set it in this one. No, I think it just needs to be moved. Up to the top, I guess. Why isn't that being set? Okay, let's try this. I'm just going to move it up here to the top in case that makes a difference. Basically, Sean, you need to ping Sebastian. It's not my project, just to be clear, or you would already be in. But yes, Sebastian is driving that. No. Okay, why am I setting this wrongly? Is there a way? I must just be configuring this incorrectly. So build, let's look at an example, maybe. No, I'm interested in the configuration, and I'm interested in Wrangler. And I want to know about account ID, basically. Come on, account ID. It's a string, it's inheritable. It can also be specified through that variable. Let's try that instead. Okay. This feels more promising. It feels like it's actually running this thing. Although it's obviously not streaming. But we probably could get it to stream. So let's see. So I'm just going to set this in my env config. So like this. And now I don't have to do it next time. Oh, no content. Why is that? Hey, Qubit. Nice to see you. Okay, let's just log our results. And we're going to say stream true. And I'll just directly return a res. Okay. Try that one more time. Let's see if we can get this to stream to our. For goodness sake, why is this taking so long? Okay. Oh, it is streaming. It just didn't stream to the console. Okay, so we've got. Yeah, fun. Okay, so probably what we would want to do at this point is what? We need to do like a new response, like this maybe. Is that gonna? That's a promise. We need a readable stream. So h3, and we want a stream. See if that does it for us. Nope, it's not a stream. So create stream. This is irrelevant because we're not actually streaming this. We just want to get the data because this is running in a webhook anyway, so it doesn't need to be streamed. I think probably what's happening here is that the response is a little bit different in format when we're using env AI run from what it is when we're using the REST API. So we're going to say this one will be use REST API. And okay, we just have a direct response. Okay, and here we would have then, what did we have before? r.r results.response. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, I got the local bindings working. We did need to patch NuxtHub, and we can also make this as a contribution to it later on. Okay, so basically we're doing our thing. This is what we wanted. We are like getting a like a response from Cloudflare. Now previously, so what we're going to want to do now is pull in our, so to do receive webhook data from GitHub, and then basically process it. Now I think quite a lot of this can be extracted into a helper function, which we're going to do. So we're going to create a little utils folder, and we're going to say like CF API, and basically I think we can pull this out and stick it in like this. So we have our API, we have got our type, and we want to be able to basically run messages against a query. And so we'll do something like export async function run or send messages, model ID, and messages, and that will be an array of role, user system, content string, and we're basically going to do this. So we need to have the event as well. So event h3 event model ID, and at this point we can actually just do use API like that, and we can just directly return this as promise of a string. Okay, so that's our results, and we should be able at this point to do const res equals send messages event model ID messages, and should I export it? Yes. So we can drop that, we can inline this, and we can probably inline these as well. Is that going to work? We'll drop these. Beautiful. Ooh. I am using Pale Knight Operator, and I'm using Dank Mono as my font and theme. Okay, so this seems really straightforward. This abstracts away the Cloudflare stuff, and actually maybe we can pull this out into NuxtHub in a moment, and we're directly getting back the text that we're expecting, right? So that's our response. It seems to be not super fast, but it doesn't need to be for the purpose I want to have. So we're going to receive some webhook data from GitHub. And the webhook data is going to look a little bit like, we're going to read body. This is going to be, let's change this to webhook.post. We're going to also need to verify it, verify the request is from GitHub. And I have some existing code that did a fair amount of this. Let me see if I can pull that out. Where was that? Carpenter 2. So basically I had this little webhook that did this. And basically I get these things, and okay, that was my code. That's not very great, but let's do some stuff with that here, okay? So this. Okay, so we're going to pull out the some stuff, and we are going to directly return if this isn't an opened issue. We're going to grab the body. Seems good. And again, if it's an empty body, we will return. Cool. And then we had, these were the messages that I sent before to ChatGPT. So let's update our messages down here. So we have some issues, and then we have some content, which again probably can be improved. So our answer is going to be this. And I think I had something that tried to pass it. Okay, as JSON, right. I think, by the way, I can improve this quite a lot if we okay. Great. Well, we can improve it, but the main thing is we just need to implement the current solution, and then we see what we do later on. Okay, so basically we now have like the existing behavior, which is that we need to make it into a GitHub app probably. Okay, so basically this would enable us to add a label, a needs reproduction label. That's all that this does at the moment. And previously I had a GitHub API, which looked a lot like this. And so our GitHub API is like this. But we're going to have to wrap it in a function because we need to take in the event. So export function use GitHub API, and we are going to wrap this in there, and we need to pass in the event, and then we're going to return this so we can then do some stuff with it. And we're going to import this. Cool. So we now should be able in our webhook to do something like that. And this should work. Except our GitHub API needs to take something from GitHub token. So again, we're going to want to create a GitHub token, and then probably we're going to patched version of NuxtHub. Cool. This is not for Nuxt docs. This is for the repo. This is to make my life as a maintainer a bit easier. Okay, let's drop that. And actually at this point, well, yeah. Right, so we need a GitHub token, and trying to decide the best way of testing this at this point. So we want to, Fishy, what do you think would be cool? Okay, we have a super simple setup at the moment. Yes, so I previously wrote a bot that did that, but it got disabled by, I'm going to drop those. What is the complaint? Okay. We probably actually want to use some of these in a moment, but I first want to make sure that the stuff is working. So actually, we probably don't need to explicitly disable them. I think I could just comment them out. And we need that GitHub token. Yeah, full context, absolutely. Okay, let's deploy this, right? Let's get this set up on NuxtHub, and then use some of the logging features to get stuff up and going, right? So let's say init. I don't have the GitHub token set, so it won't work yet, but I can do that in a sec. Okay, so let's NuxtHub deploy, or maybe I just push it and then set it up on NuxtHub. Let's try that. Okay, so I'll push this to Carpenter. Does it? Not convinced of that. Okay, and okay, so now I'm going to go to NuxtHub, and we will head to the admin panel and add a new project from Git. Okay, Western Europe, main, environment variables. Yes, this seems good. I need my GitHub token. So I need, what is it? Nuxt GitHub token. And I'm going to need to create that variable. So don't mind me as I just, in another tab, fire up some settings, and I need a fine-grained token, which is going to have access to set a label on Nuxt. And I'm going to add specifically just this repo. Fine-grained tokens are great, but they are a total pain in some ways. Because, for example, you can't create a fine-grained token that has access to more than one org scope, as far as I can tell. So let's see, labels. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down and save it. And I'll pull that back up in a moment once the variable is all encrypted and we can't see it anymore. Okay, so now I've added it and it's deploying. So hopefully this repo is now, it's initialized, great, but it's not doing anything. But now this is deploying to Cloudflare. And if I have a look at my Cloudflare account, I should have like a worker that's just been created maybe. Yes, Okay, so this is my new site, I guess. And it's building. Do I have logs? Not yet. Oh yes, build logs. This is great. Like, this is a great experience. Okay, so it's building, uploading. Cool. I do have a lot of domains. I have plans for all of them. I am Yoon. Is it? I'm very I'm pleased. Yes, welcome to the team. Okay, it's been deployed, it says. Cool. Now I'm not using these, so it doesn't have them, but we have some production logs, and we have an API. Oh, but I disabled the Open API feature. But there is an API, it's a webhook, and we can update. Maybe we can test it in production. So let's fire up our webhooks. And let's also configure maybe a custom domain for this. So I want this to be, carpenter.nuxt.dev, that's pretty cool. We can give that a go. We can try this to start with. Okay, let's find that webhook config and update this so it's pointing to this webhook. And update. And now let's look at the recent deliveries and retry it here. Yeah, works fine because it doesn't do anything. This one is just a null response, right? And actually we need to change it so it doesn't return HTML, but just returns a 204. Okay, let's try issues opened. And let's find the issue. It's this one. Okay. Let's try this. Also returning a... That doesn't seem right. As in, I'm not expecting... It should not be hitting the... Let's try it again. Okay, so we want to hit post and webhook. Oh no, it's not webhook, it's API webhook. Let's try that one more time. Okay. Yeah, not happy because we don't have our token. Oh, this might be to do with the workers AI binding. Okay, so basically, why does this? So because AI isn't, so it's trying to use a token, which it shouldn't need to do in production. So workers AI bindings. So I need to see like how can we enable AI bind. This is only in build or dev. So I think we basically need to create bindings on the dashboard. So we're going to do that in here. And if we have a look here, I think, is this where we add bindings? maybe. Models, usage, workers. It's saying we. So where are we binding that? So manage deployment. Hey, Sebren. Above deployment details. Above deployment details. Settings. Yes. Are all of my tokens visible to you when you look at, okay, right. So we want bindings. Aha, yes. Add binding. Yes, save. And we then need to redeploy. And let's try that again. Interesting. File was found, but it does not appear to be valid. So it's just skipping it, but it's fine because it's probably because we patched it. It's fine because we're manually configuring it, but obviously this is something to get sorted before we were to go live with something like this. Okay, and we want to basically retry this in a second as soon as it's updated. Let's try it again. Interesting. .504. So the poetry company, Sebren, basically my that's weird. We're hitting API webhook with this payload. Okay, let's see if we can have a quick look what we want to have in our payload. Action issue repository. Okay, here's the payload. And we only need action issue and repository here. Although that's quite a lot of things. Okay, so we're going to just drop out the org, all of that. And what we access is very little. I think we just access the action is opened. So we just say action is closed, and I should get a response. I probably want to, it's a bit weird. Oh, it's API webhook that I want to hit. So yeah, that's just a 204 response. That's great. So we'll change it to open, and then I want to access the body should be issue body, and I think we probably don't need anything else from issue, just the title body, title or body. Okay, so we'd say issue issue title is I don't want big bad bug. Issue body is no reproduction required, and repository. Okay, that should be fine, because it should now say I don't have permission to create a. Ooh, action is not open but opened, I guess. Yeah. Properties reading body. Oh, it should be like this, I think. For goodness sake. I would expect this is going to throw an error because it doesn't have permission at this point, and it's trying to grab something. But interesting, that's a 500. Couldn't pass. Probably couldn't somehow access the response. So I think that's what we want to see right now, is what the response is. So let's try it locally. So we basically, let's run our dev server again and try this locally. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So what is the res here? This is very interesting. Okay, so this is, yeah, see you later, Stephen. So this is basically, okay. Well, I mean, this is good, like showing what the problem is, probably. So I'll drop this. Okay, well, this is the joy. Because this is Llama 3, which probably behaves very differently from ChatGPT. So response was, again, Bug ID, summary, description, labels, high, urgent. None of this is helpful. Like, this is not doing what I told it to do. So, is system and use, are these correct for Llama? So let's just have a little look. System user, yes. Say role is assistant, content is status acknowledged. I've had very good success with multiple system messages, for what it's worth. Often sort of see you later, learner. Okay, so this is now responding better. Now we need to I might need to prompt it. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically say exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think one shot is correct here. So we would say before I do a one shot, I will just do an example, and then we can maybe update it to be one shot. Okay, nice. So it's actually coming back now with a correct schema. So yeah, that's good. Let's try something else. We need more docs about this. We're going to say the website is missing some content on runtime config. documentation and feature request. Interesting. Request type. I see issue type. Okay. We can say and feature request is totally incorrect. Okay, let's do a TypeScript interface. We can do that. Or can we do JSON schema? So we could create a little quick JSON schema. What's the matter with that? Oh. Okay, and this is going to be okay. So we have what, response type? Oh no, issue type, and we have it's going to be what, enhancement, documentation, bug. We also have what was the other, reproduction provided. Oh, do we need, it should be in properties, shouldn't it? Exactly, that would be totally the way to do it. I think this is right? So it should be like type object. This is correct, right? You would need to check, I think, with Cloudflare on PII, but it should be fine, right? So they provide a database, and you have to handle that. I mean, you could, like, if you're just storing particular kinds of data, you probably need to confirm that it's valid. I think I want this down here. Okay, let's try that. It's totally incorrect. It was better before. Yeah, that's a good idea. What? Okay, let's stick it all in a schema and see if we can make that work. Although so we would add it for here, I guess. Let's see, what version am I looking at? This model is the which one? Come on. The 8 billion. I didn't see a 70 billion, but I'll try that back. Okay, so so it's sort of filling it in with data here. I don't think the JSON schema is working too well. I'll come back on that one. Let's see if we can find a bigger. Yeah, I don't think the schema. Yeah, exactly. So you only respond in JSON. JSON object with the following keys. And then we'll give an example. This is also, by the way, not the best use of, like, you could much more easily create a custom model just to do this than use a chat model in order to come back with JSON response. Like, this is not the best use of it, but it is super simple and easy to do. So ChatGPT worked super well with this, by the way. It was very reliable and always came back with JSON, as I expected. So this is just a different model, which I haven't used before, and which is almost certainly why it's behaving differently here. Okay, so we basically want to say, issue type. Rogora, nice to see you after your contribution to Next Image today. Congrats on that, by the way. Okay, super. This is good. So it's coming back with our response. Yep, so that's right. And then this one should say, yep, so that's also good. So that is properly handling that. Okay, so the one-shot thing is helpful, at least at the moment with the small ones. And we probably want to return null. And let's just pop this up. Fix, improve, one-shot implementation. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Johan. Okay, so the Llama 2, we have a 13 billion. Okay. Right, so we should have a new deployment going up. Great. And once it's up, we should be able to quickly test it again with here. Okay, how are we going? Yep, deployed. We'll retry the webhook. Oh, and we want to see the logs. It worked. Okay, so we have a 204 response. We have our webhook up and running again. Let's try it. So let's see whether it's going to do the thing. So new issue. We're going to create a blank issue. We're going to say, this is a bug report, super bad bug, but I am tired and don't feel like providing a reproduction. Please fix ASAP. Oh, rats. Okay, unauthorized, can't, so the token is unauthorized. That's great, so it's trying to hit it, but the personal access token is not working, which is fine. Let me create a new one. Okay, and I'll just figure out what I need to have access to. Okay, permissions, repository permissions. I need to, so it's basically issue labels should be read and write. That should be enough, right? Shouldn't need to do anything else. Yeah, this should label the issue. That's what it should do. Okay, let's just redeploy if I can. Oops. Okay, connect to the logs, and then I'll resend the last webhook. And also failed. The good news is it is failing because it lacks the GitHub token with sufficient permissions, but like that. I guess that's good. I guess that's good. Like it's not the AI piece of it. It's the GitHub piece of it. So what I wonder is whether this is to do with how the environment is being provided. Let's see, is there anything I need to remember about how we are doing that on Cloudflare? Okay, we could try this. Okay. We can try directly accessing it like this. So just in case that's going to make a difference, which it shouldn't, but I am registering it as the right name, right? Nuxt GitHub token. We'll try it. just in case the issue is the Cloudflare runtime config situation. But honestly, that would be a bug. I would consider it a bug. So let's see what happens. So we need to redeploy. I think I might quickly go and grab a cup of tea. So while we're waiting for this to redeploy, I am going to be grabbing my tea, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, we are back. I have a fresh cup of tea, and let's see if this thing worked. Oh, surely this is finished. Yeah, okay. Logs. Okay, this is hilarious. Yes, that is very funny. Okay, let's redeliver. Please work this time. No. Okay. Okay, I need to see... oh, response. Cannot read properties of undefined reading GitHub token. Okay, so this documentation is wrong then. This documentation is wrong. So we have to set presumably this in a... Oh, that's a service worker preset. So we're talking about pages. So why is this not reproducible? I'm setting Nuxt GitHub token. I guess I need to check my environment here, but I also need to do it in such a way that nobody sees me. So I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to take it away and have a very, very quick check of my variables. Nuxt GitHub token. It is set. So why would it not be pulling through? Oh, this is wrong. Maybe that's it. This is VS Code. Yeah, I like quite a minimal version of VS Code. So I have my settings online if you want to have a look. Hey, Jill's Tom. Are you Jilson? Or are you someone else? Jilson, haha! I guessed it. It is nice to see you. Okay, let us see if that will do the trick. Okay, let's see. Our logs, our webhook. Nope. Still can't add label. So I'm wondering if the issue at this point is just that I have got the token wrong somehow. So let's instead have a look at what we're doing here. Repository full name, issues number label. And we're basically hitting that. Oh, and we're logging it, right? So we're logging that. It's saying it's unauthorized. So that means that, let me see if I can reproduce this locally. So I have, okay, my dev server. let me just super quickly see if I can grab my variable and set it locally so I can reproduce. Okay. Arg! So annoying. Okay, so that hopefully is set. I'm going to be deleting so many tokens after the stream. Hey, MH. Nice to see you. Okay, so now I just need to see if I can reproduce this in dev mode. So we have a token, and repository full name and issue number is all I need to provide. So I have my thing, and I need to basically say repository full name is Nuxt, and issue number is, we're going to grab this one just for fun. And what I would expect is it worked. Did it work? Yes. So the token's fine. Hey, Christian. Thank you. Interesting. That seems to be a bit of a bug. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Oh, that's a very interesting point. Maybe it's to do with the fact that it's a bit of a different context. So let's try that instead. Okay, so rather than grab this and pop it in here. Try that. Fix set token in config. Oh yeah, duplicate issues, that would be great. This still didn't work though. Why not? Unauthorized. So why is this working locally, but not in production? Arg. This is crazy. Why? they are set for production. But when I look at them on Cloudflare, it shows them to me under both preview and production. Wait a second, I say that, but they look like they're different. So maybe I updated one, but not the other. That might be the explanation. Let's try that. So Nuxt GitHub token is set in preview and production. And I'm going to redeploy it. And see why this isn't working. This is very frustrating, isn't it? Like, the AI bit is fine, works fine locally, but in production, in the moment I'm going to start logging is what I'm going to do. Failed. So weird. Okay. So, okay, we're going to log. We're basically going to say, does this exist? And we're going to do this in our webhook as well, and basically say, oh, we're already logging our error. So yes. Sorry for crunching away, by the way. The started having protein bars, helping me keep going. Okay. Deployed, I think. Okay, logs. Exactly. Okay, and let's actually just try hitting with, for goodness sake. Let's hit this. Whoops. Hopefully, yeah, I did it. Okay, take it off. We want to hit the same end webhook here. What is the endpoint? Deployments. General. Okay, so we're just going to try exactly the same thing we did here. Oh, it needs to be HTTPS. And what are our logs saying? Could not add label. But why? Let's try it again. Log for me, please. Frozen Spirit, good to see you. False. Well, that at least explains that it is missing. So basically, it doesn't exist. Neither of them exist. So that's why, of course. But why don't they exist, people? Why are these environment variables not defined? Everything is correct. So this, we are accessing it from config GitHub token. It is set as Nuxt GitHub token. Why on earth is it not being accessed? Now, yeah, what is going on? So like, I feel this is very wrong. Okay, delete that again. Now, Christian, what did you do? So but how are you building it? When are you building it? Is this in a Cloudflare pages deploy? Is there a Nitro issue which mentions this? Runtime config Cloudflare, because this cannot be correct. Like we know that this has to be. Okay, we tried import meta.env. We can try process.env, I guess. Okay, we'll try process.env. Maybe that will be better. But this is very frustrating. Okay. Where am I? Here. Viva la vida, you need to do the glob before you create that file. As in, you need to do it at build time and then inject the contents of the glob in the my thingy, is what I was suggesting. Don't try and do glob within the virtual, because the environment in Nitro environment doesn't have all the files that you're trying to glob into. Okay, logs, and hit it again. It worked. Crazy. Oh, so, okay, so process.env works, but import.matter.env does not work. Yay, so it's back up and working now. So basically, if I now drop it again, and now refire the webhook, it should work. Fingers crossed. It did! It did, people. It added it again. Yes, hopefully it did. Yes, it's back on. Okay, we built it. We built it. It's working. It's working fine. And it's deployed on NuxtHub. And we can now start to optimize and make stuff better. But this is definitely cool. And it's good to be back up and working. Now, what else would we want to do? Okay, so here's our config. And but this is clearly broken. Like, this should work, and it's not working. So that's a bug that we need to fix. Okay, and we have this. And I think we probably should do this instead. So yep, exactly. So yeah, so what else do we want to do? Sorry, I'm just refactor slight change in try catch and push. Cool. So that's up and working again. I guess we can always work on that later. I guess the main thing that I would want to do is move it into a GitHub app so that I could deploy it to more websites. I guess at the moment, I would also want to, let's see, I'd want to disable the Nuxt runtime. So experimental, no view server, because we don't need to SSR render anything. And we would say something like in our app.view, would say, actually we can get rid of it, I think, and just return seems good. And we'll pre-render it. Or we could do root rules, which might be a better approach. Root rules, and we'll basically say pre-render. Cool. And if I build it again, let's just confirm that the output is as we expect. Great. Okay, let's do some quick issue fixing before I go for the day. And he's great. Okay, so this is all extremely cool. Great, we can all get rid of this, and I will create an issue in NuxtHub. Basically say AI, we probably already have. Hey Milos, thank you. I am indeed very well. Okay, what are we doing? So let's have a look at some Nuxt bugs, right? Interesting. So I'm the wrong person to ask. NuxtHub is not Nuxt. So NuxtHub is a project of particularly the cloud, which is what you're talking about. So Sebastian's created an open source project, which is the core of NuxtHub, but the cloud of it is not Nuxt. It's a Nuxt Labs product. Nuxt Labs is a separate company, which is run by Sebastian and is great, but it's not Nuxt itself. So I'm not involved in the commercial side of things. Okay, so interesting. Let's give it a go. Exactly. Let's see if I can reproduce this thing. Back into Nuxt. We all have our playground, and we have got, let's see if I can reproduce it without the complexity. And let's just pull the do we have inline styles? We do not. If I remove the lang ts, do we have inline styles? Oh no, we did have inline styles. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can reproduce by doing this pages thing. Pages index, and then we need a component called my. And yep, the FOMO is real. But don't you worry. I'm sure this is all going to be rolled out at some point. Okay, so that's rendering, but then we expect it should be. We need to add lang is ts. And indeed, it's not. Okay, this should be quite simple to resolve, I think, because it's so reproducible. So for a start, we can reproduce it. So we're going to remove the pending triage, mark it as a bug. It's a minor bug, and it's a pain. Okay. I did not see this. So, what is generated? So we basically have a chunk, and we have our styles, and we've got our sum comp, and it has got this, which is correct. So this is the this is what is rendered. So inline styles, and what we want is to load this. Let's try it again. Let's try it one more time. Hit the endpoint. Aha. Okay. So the issue is that the actual styles are, we have got the with the query string, but the modules that are being rendered here don't have it. Seems like an easy fix. We have got our build manifest as well, which has okay. So basically we have got this one, which is the one we're interested in. And it has got the module IDs and also the facade module ID. And we go through them. That is correct. Interesting. Okay, if is CSS or let me just check whether that works. So basically, so basically, Oh yeah, so this is fine. Yeah, okay, so basically that would work. Let's try that again. Oops. Oh, that's interesting. Aha. That's weird. Why is that pulling in? I am going through Nuxt bugs. I think I probably shouldn't do it at this point. I think I should do it at... I think I almost want to do something like this. So if is view module ID, like this. So if it's not CSS, then we're going to add the other module IDs almost. If is CSS ID, okay, and what that has done is it has basically given us the great. Okay. I don't think that fully solves it, but it definitely solves part of it. So we don't handle the situation where we have the cup is enormous. It's true. It is genuinely a huge amount of tea in here. This isn't quite right, I think. I feel effectively what we want to do, we want to add the CSS of, so because we've got, like, the CSS we are producing here is, the components we're processing are these. The CSS is only from some comp. So we almost want to ensure that this CSS is added to, okay, so effectively we want to do this. So when we have this, we also want to pull this across basically without the query string. It's like this is a slightly better solution, and we can refactor that in a second. Let's see if that works. Does not. Okay, so we're running the build at this point, and we basically have that. Oh, I see, it's not there. Oh, because of the lang TS. Haha, that's why. I think we might just be able to directly create it like this. Okay. Right. Okay, let's try this. Hey Todd, nice to see you. I'm doing well, thanks. I just got back from Athens on Saturday. I was there for a couple of days for a conference. It was lovely. It was hot. Everyone was really friendly. Someone gave me a tour. I had food like souvlaki. It's really amazing. So I had a great time. And how about you, Todd? You're retired. Did you stepped back from your thought leader role in accessibility, or maybe you stepped into your thought leader role in accessibility? Yeah, this is tricky. I strongly suspect this is a Tailwind or a Vite issue rather than a Nuxt one. So, well, I mean, I don't suspect that. I'm certain. I'm pretty certain of it. But we can see. I think it's probably to do with Vite plugin view, maybe, rather than if you can't reproduce it in a pure Vite project. Let's see if we can do that here. Okay, so we're going to import hi, and we're going to import custom CSS, and custom CSS is going to be this. And what do we have? This madness. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, rats. Ah, that would have been really nice, Todd, if you'd been there. Yeah, no, I get that, Andre. It is very difficult. Okay, let's see. Come on. Can I get that to stay open? Yes. Okay. So we're saying this should be styled with Tailwind, right? So it should be it's not. Okay, why is this not styled with Tailwind? Let's drop that. Okay, it is now. Great, so Tailwind is here. And let's see, can we reproduce the bug by changing this to blue? Well, it's disappeared. That seems to be a, oh, hard refresh. Pass error. This might be something to do with the Vite node. This is really weird. I am not 100% sure that this is a Nuxt issue. I'm going to add it upstream. But I mean, having exactly a hard refresh suggests that this is something which is happening on the server. I think it might be to do with the direct query, maybe. Somehow. It's a very, very good question. So let's first start. Let me just confirm that this is not being injected in dev mode. No, it's not. Good. So it won't be the SSR styles. I'm sorry, that's not super helpful for you. And I'm aware I've just taken a couple of minutes and not done. Yeah, Todd, absolutely. I will see you another time. And I'm just about to finish anyway. So, Rugura, that's absolutely the right question, you know, like, because it does highlight that it's probably something to do with the server environment, and might be why, for example, it doesn't reproduce here. I will anyway copy this. Oh wait, was it here? I'm just going to super quickly looked at this and could not reproduce with the following view SSR template. In case it's helpful for someone picking this later. No. What do you mean, how did I become so good at web dev? That's very kind. It's difficult to know how to answer that question, though. Rigora, so dependencies are not always available to the consuming app. So basically, if you are, if that layer is exposed as an NPM package, then they will be installed. And at the moment, if the layer and the app install different versions, then you may have multiple versions in your final app. So I looked at this, and I'm considering basically deduplicating to the whatever is available in the consuming app. So in other words, if it's only in the layer, that will be used. And if it's in the layer and the consuming app, then it's the consuming app that will set the version, because I think that's probably better, but it would be a breaking change. And so that is probably the... but I didn't want to just ship it in a sort of under the radar. Oops. Right. I am going to go for I must. And if you're around in Edinburgh, I'm heading out to Edinburgh JS, which is a meetup tonight, and do come along. But thank you everybody for joining. It's been a lot of fun, and I always love the chance to get to stream and do so with friends. Ooh, scary. Not me, please. Let's see who else is around that we maybe could join in. So what do we feel about, what about Bald Bearded Builder? He seems like a nice guy. Prime? You want Prime? Or Bald Bearded Builder? Tufting, I really appreciate what you've said. That's really nice of you. And basically, I think probably I'm a self-taught person. That's what I always feel like. Prime is fantastic, but let's go and encourage Bald Bearded Builder. It's nice, I think. So I always feel like just sort of trying to figure out how things work. So looking at modules and add lots of console logs and figure out why isn't this thing working, and don't just accepting it isn't working for an answer. So that's what I just try and do. And basically, I've not had any formal computer science education. I studied C++ back in school, at a very basic level. Anyway, thank you everybody, and we're going to go and raid, and I'll do some streaming again later. I think maybe even tomorrow. Talk to you all later.